And now, what on earth is next?
Media Network with CD music, Dolby noise reduction, ultra low noise tape, and a few bangs from the ionosphere.
Oh, it's certainly nice to be indoors at the moment here in Hilversum, Holland, as chilly, blustery winds hit this northerly part of the world. It seems the weather's caused problems to an offshore broadcaster.
Some stations talk to the world. Radio Netherlands talks to people.
Early yesterday morning, we started getting reports that the Ross Revenge, home of the pop music ship Radio Caroline, had sunk in bad weather. Herbert Visser, a former disc jockey on the station, is on the line now from Amsterdam. He's been up half the night following this salvage operation. Now, Herbert, we're into Thursday. It hasn't sunk, has it?
No, that's not true, Jonathan. The Radio Caroline ship Ross Revenge lost its anchor yesterday morning and ran aground on the Goodwin Sands near the coast of Ramsgate in England. 6 people who were on board the ship were winched off in a helicopter and taken to a Royal Air Force base. The Ross Revenge, as you know, hasn't been broadcasting for over a year now because of the new British broadcast bill, which was introduced on January the 1st of this year. According to the bill, any ship broadcasting within 200 miles of the British coast, which can be received on UK soil, can be impounded. The British authorities claim that while the ship was adrift, the crew on board was asleep. Radio Caroline denies this. According to the organization in London, 2 people, including the captain, were awake at the time the anchor chain broke. However, they couldn't notice anything because of the poor visibility, according to Radio Caroline. The ship, meanwhile, remained intact on the sandbank until 9:30 last night. Then 2 tugboats made a first attempt during high tide to get the ship off the sandbank and tried to bring the vessel to the harbour of Dover in the UK.
Well, last night's attempt failed. We understand that the tugs will try again later today. But you mentioned that Caroline's been silent on shortwave and medium wave for some time. But it has done some satellite experiments, hasn't it?
Yes, Chris Carey, which is a former Radio Caroline jock, was busy with Radio Nova, which was a satellite station, and that station didn't make any money. But he had rented the satellite for at least another 2 months from Easter this year, and he just offered Radio Caroline free airtime to make the station profitable, but also Radio Caroline didn't succeed in that and closed down after a few weeks of broadcasting. But Radio Caroline may come back on satellite starting by the end of next week. The Norwegian satellite station Radio North Sea International offered them airtime, and Caroline will use the subcarrier of the Norwegian station every evening between 21 and 22 hours UTC and every Friday night for 8 hours non-stop. Radio North Sea International is on the Intelsat satellite on 1 degree west on an audio carrier at the transponder, which is used by television station TV4. In the meantime, it's very unclear if the Radio Caroline organization will be able to get their ship back at sea. The Ross Revenge doesn't have a flag and is in no way seaworthy, and such ships aren't allowed to leave any harbor. It's very likely that the ship will finally end up somewhere on a scrapyard. Nevertheless, the Radio Caroline organization is determined to continue its efforts to get the station back on the terrestrial airwaves as soon as possible.
Finally, Herbert, though, do they really need the ship? I mean, if indeed it is not seaworthy anymore, and they're talking about satellite broadcasting, you can do that from your back bedroom. You don't need a ship.
Of course, but the ship has been out there since 1983, and lots of people are emotionally involved with the radio station, just like me, because I've been out there in 1986 and 1987. And a lot of people who are involved in Radio Caroline or support Radio Caroline, they just want Caroline to be linked with a radio ship from the North Sea.
Yes, but it's been out there because, I mean, the legislation wouldn't allow it ashore. If the legislation allows it ashore, surely it's time to sort of hang up the anchor, as it were.
Yes, but
it's nostalgia, isn't it?
It's nostalgia.
Okay, Herbert, thanks very much indeed for monitoring it for us.
All right, take care.
Input on the output to Media Network Box 222, Hilversum, the Netherlands. Or fax your fax to 3135 724 352.